Today we will be changing the ceiling fan here in the computer room. We're going to be installing a Crest, not a Crest 8600 in polished brass unfortunately, but a Crest 5500 in polished brass with the cane blades. This is a case where the picture on the box, the box, gosh, it sounds like a stinking fireman here. The picture on the box actually matches what's inside it. Bright brass cane inserts. I got this at the fan meet this year. I forget the person's name as usual. I'll recognize you if I see you next year, but feel free to identify yourself in the comments box if you wish. So this is never been used. It still has the original plastic film, which is good for the environment, on it. And I think we'll probably take it off like this because it seems to want to come off clean against this seam here. And we'll probably save this plastic film for some psychotic reason, because that's what we do around here. The box is in very nice condition, which is kind of rare at this point in time. And these are getting to be 40 years old or so, and there's just not a lot of them left in good shape. I'm not using the wobbly stool today, only because this one was easier to get to. If that's a serious disappointment to some people, I will try to make sure I use the wobbly stool next time. This does have normal looking cane blades and does not have those stupid grommets, so this should be a pretty easy setup. Alright, let's get the Chatham cancel out before we make a mess. Okay, we've got a bit of a puzzle here. I don't remember exactly how this went. I think these go with the, yeah, those are the light shades there. Switch cap back in the days when the stuff still came with that. I am going to retrieve a bag for the screws. Oh, there's no small ones in there, so we'll have to locate one somewhere else. This was the runner-up in terms of what to install in there this time. This is a Global Winds. If this had cane blades, I would have installed it this time around. There's a hole in that bag. We'll keep that for some psychotic reason. That's a little too big. Here we go, we'll use one of these. I'm gonna put some fans on because I'm concerned that the camera might overheat. I'm filming it in the 4K, not because we need the 4K or because we have 4K displays or because it's all that much clearer, etc., but because it does give a wider viewing angle in the 4K. So I figured that would be beneficial. But it might overheat and then that will not be beneficial, and then we'll just go back to 1080p and nothing will have changed. Yeah, this non-wobbly stool is definitely a lot less exciting. I'll just dust everything off as it goes back in the box. These blades are kind of dirty. Huh. I wonder if I should try to wipe those down before I put them away. I think I might. I think the light has to come off first, actually. Oh boy, this is stuck. I probably should have unplugged it because I don't know if the polarity on this thing is correct or not. It might not be. And ordinarily I wouldn't care, but I'm saving a video on the computer and I don't want the breaker to trip out. SMC, you can tell by this mounting bracket and the noise. Surprisingly, bearings are still smooth as ever though. And that really is kind of surprising. SMC was not known for the best quality bearings.
But
That's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm going to give these a quick wipe down and see if we can eliminate that haze that's on there. had some melamine foam here, right here, yesterday. And of course I cleaned up the desk. And now I don't know where the melamine foam is. I found the melamine foam. Yeah, there's definitely something on here. Look at the way the water is repelling in some spots and not others. Now, we're not going to put these in the box right away now because it's just got wet, so I'm going to let it dry out for a while. Other side's kind of like that as well. Just wash both. Yeah, it did come off. I thought, okay. I don't know what that is. It's really strange. Oh no, it's not coming off. I guess maybe that one blade just didn't have it. Alright, whatever, we'll just do a dry wipe down then. I have no idea what that is. Very strange. Alright, I'm still going to let these blades just sit out here for a minute to dry. Alright, ready to open up the Crest. What? How did the water get on there? I tried not to get water in there. Why is there water in that box? Okay. There's water in here too. At least that cardboard caught it before it got to the blades. Crest Industries. It's probably long defunct. Let's see what this says. Penske. Interesting. Come on, people, keep it down. Includes only those models which end in even numbers. Okay. I've never installed one of these before, so I just want to get a quick glance at the way it works. It looks like a pretty standard fix-up. Okay, let's see what these specs are. These are bogus, 100% bogus specs. It says on high, this is going to push 8,000 CFM. What does it think? It's a 3733? I wouldn't be surprised if it tops out at 4,500. This is flush mount. It's not going to go 8,000 CFM. That's ridiculous. Wonder if this has some kind of affiliation with Lasco. Trying to beat out the 3733. Give me a break, Crest. Even the 8600 is not rated for 8,000 CFM. It's only rated for, I think like 7,800 or something. Something it totally does not achieve either. And there's no way this is going to achieve it. $8,000 CFM. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Okay, here's the blades. And they are pretty wide actually, but being flush mount, there's just no way. Looks just like the Chatham. Oh yeah, this little motor is going to blast out 8,000 CFM. It's actually got some weight to it though. I'm a little surprised. Bearings seem okay for the moment. What was that crashing noise? Quality approved. Okay. Let's see what the specifications are. Crest Industries Incorporated, 1090. So that could be the 10 month of 1990. That would, the styling would be right for that. Towards the end of this styling, anyways. 0.6 amps, 72 watts, made in China. It's got the modular connector thing for the switch housing. Oh, for heaven's sakes. The grass ain't even growing. It's like a stinking desert outside. I haven't even cut my grass in probably a month. Because it just doesn't grow anymore with this heat and the dryness. Well, today it's not hot, but the dry. Okay, I can see plenty of grease in there still. Looks good. Let's take these screws out of here before we get started. I guess I really can't complain about, or I shouldn't rather, I shouldn't complain about that grass getting cut today, because both of those people never used to cut the grass at all. So at least now the grass gets cut and it looks a lot nicer. But I'm only making a video for 1 hour out of the day here, and it just so happens to be at the same time. And to their credit, both of those people hired a local small business too to take care of it, not some major, whatever, multi-operation company thing, scam ripoff. Okay, here's the irons. Let's see our 8,000 CFM pitch. Actually, that's not too shabby. Why does it look like it's bent up? Oh boy. Are these all bent? Something fishy about these irons. Here's the hardware. Alright, these are probably the blade screws. Huh. There's that weird little pull fob. I kind of remember seeing something like that on one of the fans I found years ago. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a Crest. Alright, so we don't need that quite yet. We need these. So the screws probably thread into here. Well, one will thread into there, it looks like. And then I guess the other two have to thread into here. Yeah, okay. So we'll need 3 of these. There are a lot of screws and washers in here. I wonder if these lock washers are supposed to go on there too. Probably. Makes sense. Yeah, I'll put them. Why not? That's not the right hole. This is so much easier to work with when the box is not flush with the ceiling. It doesn't look right, but it is so much easier to deal with. I always feel like there should be a washer there, because the screw head is just not very large, but there wasn't any washers in here like that. Nope. We're going to ignore the bond because nothing to bond it to in this particular case. This just hooks on the back of the screw there, like this. Good enough. I'll hook up the light wire. I don't know if I'm going to add a light to this or not. It would definitely look nice with one. Maybe I will at some point, I don't know. I don't know what is this even, oh, it is labeled the textured side. Let's see. The textured side is the common. And we got to make sure we get all the extra wire slack up inside here, otherwise it'll hit the motor while it's running. Something just fell. The part that labeled it says for the light. You know what it's for. Yep, something's hitting somewhere. Oh, it's coming down on the other side. Okay, unfortunately we can't really test it because we have to connect the switch housing first, so we'll just go without the test. Alright, now we need 4 screws for the motor housing, which I guess are these little ones in here. Probably this, 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 and this. Okay, now the switch housing. Oh, this is weird. I didn't even realize it wasn't like a starter piece to it. What the heck does it attach to? The heck kind of goofy thing is this? I have a feeling we should have put this on prior to the motor housing. I have never seen anything quite like this before. What the heck? Who builds a fan like this? Oh, this is dumb. This is a stupid, dumb design. Let's see if I can do this with the housing off. Now I'll just take it back off. It's not a big deal. I'd rather take it off than risk messing something up. Might be able to do it. Not. The battery ran out. I gotta take this off. I don't know what the heck is going on with this connection. It's a very, very flaky apparatus. And I don't like the way that this works at all. I wish I knew that before I put it on. I would have rather played with this while it was on the ground. It would have been a lot easier. I gotta go get a taller stool so I can look at this at eye level. 'Cause I don't know what we're dealing with here. This is one of the most obscure designs I've ever seen for switch housing. I'm going to shut this off briefly because we're going to get dust. Alright, what on earth are we dealing with here? I think I actually had it positioned correctly. Maybe it just wasn't tight enough. It feels like it's cross-threading now. I don't understand this. It's almost all the way tight, but it's still so loose. I can't get it any tighter than that. What the heck kind of stupid apparatus is this? Why do we have to deviate from standard designs that have worked for decades? Let's see if this manual talks about this ridiculous switch housing. I'm definitely not putting light on this thing after seeing this crazy housing. This stinking light's gonna fall off the ceiling. It's as simple as it looks according to the manual, but it feels like there should be something else in between that apparatus because it's too loose. I don't know. This is weird. Jeez. The screw is definitely going in cross-threaded. Maybe we need to close it most of the way first and then... Yeah, see, it's not closing all the way. I don't know why that is. It just broke. Oh man. Now it's never going to be right. This just made us some cheap pop metal and it just broke. Well, we'll dangle it on there and never touch it. Definitely losing some respect for Crest after seeing this ridiculous design. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is a terrible, terrible design. Granted, now it's much more difficult to install because it's broken, but it wasn't installing properly before either. Oh, go figure, now it's stronger than it was before. Well, ironically, now that it's broken, it's perfectly stable. I still am not going to put a light on here, but at least it'll be enough to... I think it'll be fine to operate that way. Alright, that's stupid. The 8600 sure isn't like this. The 8600 is relatively normal. Come on. Jeez. Okay, now I'm gonna put on this fan again. I'm sweating. I guess I should have installed the global winds. That would have been a little bit easier. Although I've never worked with global winds, so I don't know. Is it crooked? No, I guess not. Oh, shoot. This is so bad. This is so bad. Really? This is what we're putting on the switch housing? Screws with sharp points into a area with with wires? Yeah, that's great. What a stupid... This whole switch housing is just a complete and total piece of garbage. The heck would design it with these type of screws? You gotta be kidding me. That's what we're gonna put in there? So we're gonna put sharp points of screws up against the wires? That's dumb. That is so dumb. Whoever designed this should be smacked. Yeah, that's how it is. These are self-tapping screws that go into a non-threaded slot. How does this even line up here? The notch probably goes to the reverse switch, I guess. Oh man, this housing is gonna fall off. This is so stupid. What a stupid design. Great. And that screw is small. It's going to take a minute to find that. These should be machine screws, not self-tapping sheet metal screws. Now we'll just hope that it's not up against a wire, or it didn't pinch a wire against something else and cut right through the insulation. Dumb. Oh, that's convenient. Wow, this is just... I can't believe how this switch housing is designed. That is atrocious. Completely and totally atrocious. I'm not even sure this is... It's really not even stable enough to use. Well, if I can get it to sit right, I'll just have to use it with the that controller thing only and never touch this housing. I got it to be fairly secure for a minute there. I don't know why. Alright, I think I got it back. I don't want to push it too much, because if it's just going to snap again, and then we're really going to have a problem. That is so dumb. That is such a dumb and stupid, deranged design. That is the worst switch housing design I've ever worked with. And that's a pretty big sample. Stupid. Okay. Let's get the blades put together. Hopefully they're not stupid. Although, thus far, nothing has instilled confidence into this fan. That is so stupid. That is the dumbest piece of garbage, poorly designed, unbelievable, ridiculous, stupid, dumb, deranged, ridiculous, outrageous switch housing I've ever seen. I hate it. I hate that switch housing. Now, hopefully the rest of this goes a little better. I messed that up. I'm gonna have to think about how to fix that. I really think that whole apparatus is just gonna break. I wonder if I can use, you know what might work is a hose clamp. A small hose clamp might fix that. Yeah, I think it would. I don't know what he's string trimming. There's not a growing, healthy, alive weed on the planet right now in this area of the country. It is so dry. It hasn't rained in about 3 months. I think this has got to be one of the driest summers on record. The drought is getting really bad. There's some major rivers that flow through the area, and the water level is like down to a trickle. I've never seen it anywhere near that low before. It is not good. Well, these screws are unnecessarily long. Guess we've got to make sure the blades are secure there and whip around at 8,000 CFM speed. The irons kind of look SMC to me, and they're way too small for the blades. The heck kind of kooky. This is jacked up too. Where's that screw? Oh, come on. Really? Oh no. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Not good. I heard it somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, this stupid dumb little flat thing, no even indentations, and then that just sits like that. It doesn't even go in there right. It just barely fits. Is that like some dorky way to get around using a lock washer? This fan stinks. The design is horrible. Wow, what a stupid design. It's too bad because I like fans that people give me. You know, they hold a story that other pieces don't. But this is just terrible. This thing is a terrible design. It better at least work well and be quiet. If this thing is like a humming freak show, then it's just a piece of garbage. Not going to throw it out, of course, but it's just terrible. No lock washer, just hope for the best. That's cool. Great design. Is Crest a garbage brand? I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. I just know I like the 8600 because of the one that my aunt and uncle had in the kitchen. But if this is how Crest products are, I am staying away. And the 8600 was a bit of a pain because of those stupid, what do you call it, grommet things, but it was nowhere near as bad as this. Come on, Crest, get in there. Even the screws don't align well. It's just like nothing about this is built properly. A stinking group of smelly skunks could probably design a better fan than this. And this looks nice, sure, but so does Hampton Bay, and it's much easier to install. Huh, they included 2 extra screws. I guess there was anticipation that this would be frustrating and difficult. Okay, that was a joke and a half. Probably a joke and 3/4 even. That was pretty bad. But we got it. The irons really do look SMC, but I find it hard to believe that SMC would design something this terrible. Alright, now let's get this Chatham put away. I don't know what these parts are for. Maybe those are for the to go into the ceiling. I don't know, whatever, don't matter. I better save these staples too. I might need those someday. And I'll put in the remnants of the light label. We'll save that for some psychotic reason. I like the fan, but the install process is just ridiculous, and the design is just ridiculous, and the size of the irons in relation to the blades is just ridiculous, and the way the switch housing attaches to the motor shaft is just ridiculous, and the way the blades attach to the motor is just ridiculous, and everything about it's just totally ridiculous. Okay, that's that. Now let's see if we can solve this mystery. As you look at the grass out there, it's like a desert over here. It's insane. I've had to water some of the landscape bushes I've had for years, even some of the ones that came with the house that have been there for, 10, 15 years. It's just that dry. Alright, everything should probably go in plastic bags. Yeah, I know, sometimes the styrofoam can get dodgy up against certain materials and damage the finish. Okay, there's 4 of those. Those are probably for the irons. And that's probably for the motor housing. Not that. Only 3 of those. Where's the 4th? This one's different length, but I guess it doesn't matter. There's the third one, or the fourth one rather. That probably goes to mounting bracket. There's two things for the blades? The heck? That's kind of weird. Yeah, looks like they came in packs of two. Interesting. These blades are not currently warped, and I'd really like to keep it that way. I don't like the way this is sitting in this box. This, I think, was part of the Crest. Okay. It's not going to close perfectly. These usually don't ever close perfectly again, but it's closed enough. And now we have a Crest.